Divine greetings, ones and zeros, zeros and ones, boys and girls that are now men and women, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, spiritual beings of this divine matrix. Welcome. My name is Clay. Today I want to share with you as I rewire my mind about this invisible wound that I've been carrying. So I'm sharing this to help us all with the invisible wounds that we all carry. And it has to do with the topic of inferiority complex, inferiority complex between men and women in a relationship. As I'm in a relationship, I encounter these feelings of inferiority complex with my partner. Um, my father had told me when I was about 20 something that a woman is stronger than a man. And when he told me this, when he told me that a woman is stronger than a man, I didn't understand what he was saying. To me, it didn't make sense because I'm more physical. Men are stronger. I've since now come into understanding what that means. And when he told me that a woman is stronger than a man, he told me to never tell this to a woman because she's going to have that power over you. Now, to keep it balanced and an equilibrium, when I'm saying that a woman is stronger than a man, it is in this context. It's in the context of understanding that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. As the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, it is to have an equilibrium. It is to have an understanding that the east is superior, the west is inferior. As the east is superior and the west inferior, in the balance of understanding, you appreciate the night and the day. None is greater than the other, meaning none is better than the other. However, in the order of things, one comes before the other. So, in my understanding, the east comes before the west, left comes before right, feminine comes before masculine, a woman comes before a man, and so on and so forth. Now I'll go to a scientific proof that women are superior and men inferior. This thing called the mitochondrial DNA, right? The mitochondrial DNA is the powerhouse of the cell. And when a woman and a man mates, the sperm cell does not contribute its mitochondrial DNA to the impregnation of the child. The sperm's mitochondrial DNA is eliminated. So mitochondrial DNA, the power of us all, is only passed down in most instances, according to what science is saying, from woman to woman to woman to woman. So we all have the mitochondrial DNA. We are all powered by this. We all have power in our cells that power our lives. But it is the woman that carries the memory of power. And this was known in ancient traditions in Africa, where women would carry the matriarchal aspect of that understanding to have a matriarchal community. And in the matriarchal community, for example, there would be a balance where you have a chief or the head of the community in representation being a man. However, the structures that put him in place is always the woman. That's an understanding. To go into the personal experience that I'm having of the inferiority complex of the invisible wound that I'm carrying, the invisible wound of ignorance that I'm carrying. My partner was telling me about the chakra system. Growing up, I was not aware of the chakra system. I was not aware of the what the in Kemet is called the Sekhem Ras, which is the same chakra system. And my partner was telling me about the chakra system um, as a healing modality coming through the schizophrenic break. So the chakras, there are 7 main chakras. In total, there are many chakras. We work with 7 main chakras, and then there are 2 more to make 9. We are 9 ether beings to make 9, which is the soul star, which is outside of the body, and the earth star, which is below or beneath the body. The other 7 chakras are the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. Now, as she's telling me about this insight into my own beingness, I'm feeling inferior. And this is the inferiority complex, because she's giving me information that is making me feel within that I am less than her. And it is for me to be in the awareness that we are both in love. And being in love, there is no greater or lesser. It is the understanding of the equilibrium and how the energy moves. For example, I was saying about how the energy moves, how the light energy moves from east to west, relating to the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun in the west. And it is to have an equilibrium of both, rather than having a fear of the night or having a fear of the daylight. It is to have an understanding that both are needed and both are to be accepted for what they are. So, talking about the chakra system, she was enlightening me to how energy flows through the body. So the root chakra, the characteristics of the root chakra, which another example of defining the chakra system is as doorways or as energy centers. Now, the root chakra as a energy center, as a doorway, has a certain aspect. It's responsible for a certain type of energy. It's responsible for this type of energy. It's characterized by survival or thriving, or synonyms of that is love and fear. When you're in the survival modality, you're in a fear modality. You have a fear mentality that's guiding you. Versus when you're in a thriving mentality, you're in the love frequency. So there are 2 emotions. Only 2 emotions exist. That these 2 emotions are what drives everything. Everything is in appearance or non-appearance based on these 2 emotions. And one is love and the other is fear. So the root chakra is responsible for allowing or not allowing fear or love. And this is defined by how open your root chakra is. So the more open your root chakra is, it's telling you that it's the more acceptance you have for love, the more acceptance you have for life. And then from the root chakra, a little bit up from the root chakra is the based in the genital areas. That's the root chakra. And then coming up before you hit the navel, a little bit below the navel, is the solar plexus. Not solar plexus, is a sacral. And the sacral chakra is defined by what I call, or what we call, guilt and pleasure. So it tells you whether or not you're experiencing guilt or whether you're experiencing pleasure. And then there's the solar plexus. The solar plexus has to do with the shame and will. Where do you put your will? And according to where you put your will, you may have shame. According to where you did not put your will, you may have shame. Then the heart chakra deals with grief and understanding. And then the throat chakra, that's truth and lies. That has to do with your expression. And then there's the third eye, which has to do with illusions or delusions and clarity, whether you're seeing things the way they actually are, or you're seeing them according to your inferiority complex, according to your trauma, according to your according to your wound, which if your womb is wounded, it poses a distraction to the clarity that you can see in your third eye or through your third eye. And then there's the crown chakra, which has to do with attachment and non-attachment, attachment and flow, ego attachment and flow, or acceptance. So I just went through that quickly to show you how my partner was telling me about myself. And as she was telling me, I was understanding. And as I was understanding what was happening, not the way I understand today, but I was understanding what she was saying to me. As she was saying it to me, I can feel the energy of fear within my body. I can feel the energy of fear within my being. And when I check what is this energy of fear, it's simply because she is being superior than I am. She has the information. She has the memory of divinity. She's a mother. She's more nurturing. She's more caring. She's all these things. She's the east of my west. And I feel it. Now, before I was aware of this feeling, I would simply use ego to control myself. I would use ego to balance myself by hiding that I felt insecure. And it occurred in a default way. I simply was not aware. I was operating according to a program. The program that said, oh yeah, a man can listen to a woman and a woman can listen to a man. And if you're man enough, you can listen to a woman and take instructions from a woman. I was operating in that modality, not feeling the deficit. No different than how I can listen to my mother and say what my mother taught me, right? My mother taught me this, my mother taught me that, and operate in that modality. Here, in this mentality, I'm aware of the inferiority complex. I'm aware of the feeling that I get in my heart, of the feeling that I get in my heart that triggers a mental stimulation to want to project that fear that is coming from my solar plexus, from where my shame body is. Because I feel the fear in my root and I feel the guilt of not knowing myself. And as I feel the guilt of not knowing myself, it stimulates the shame in my identity of not knowing myself. And then that shame stimulates the grief in my heart of not knowing myself. And then I want to tell lies and project my distraction, my dysfunction onto my partner because I have an ego attachment. And I'm seeing where I'm able now to consciously rewire my mind and say, no, that is unhealed me. I will not project demonic ways, which is the fear, which is my shadow self. I'm healing my shadow self. I will not project that deficit onto my partner or anyone, any woman for that matter, any woman, any man. I will not project that deficit because I know who I am. And in knowing who I am, I know that I am in love and I have a right to feel love. And so I love myself. And in loving myself, it is this now that I'm able to remove the inferiority complex by understanding duality, understanding the yin and the yang, the less and the more, and how they both come together to form harmony of the day and the night, the black and the white, and to appreciate the gray rather than being black or white. So I'll give you an example. Today I was shopping with my partner, and she was telling me where to put the bags after we did some shopping, where to put the shopping bags in the car. And she was saying, put it on this side. And within myself, I'm saying, no, I would have put it on the other side. And I even felt the shadow side of me saying, why we have to listen to her? Why do we have to listen to her? I want to put it on this side. So I felt that shadow side. It's like a little demon, unhealedness, right? Because she's taking the lead. She's in control of where to put the groceries. And it seems simple, right? But in that moment, I had to sink the clutch, so to speak, and understand that she's not threatening me. By her telling me what to do, she's not threatening me. And when I checked myself, she's not imposing, because the other aspect of women being superior is that there are women who are unhealed, and when a woman is unhealed, she will impose on a man to tell a man what to do, when to do, how to do, why to do, where to do, if to do. A woman who is unhealed will do that because she's naturally superior. And a man who is unhealed will receive that imposition and then fight back. And in the fighting back, a man typically is physically stronger than a woman. And so if he cannot control his emotions, he will want to put his hands on her, so to speak, because she's trying to tell him what to do. And he will behave in such a manner that is uncharacteristic of a healed man. There's much more that I can say on this topic. And I trust that in me sharing this bit, that you can see the invisible wounds we carry of inferiority complex. And this inferiority complex extends to children and adults, to it's men and women, between men, between women, between man and nature. It extends in all aspects of life. So that was good for me to rewire my mind, my mental, to put this out in the public, to show that I am confident in myself and what it is that I'm experiencing as a spiritual being having a human experience. And as Marcus Garvey would say, if you are not confident in life, you are twice defeated, left and right. Superior and inferior must come together. And with that, I say, Ashe, Amen, and Namaste. Each one, reach one, teach one.